All right. Good afternoon, everybody. We're hopping on here. Current time is 1:22 p.m. Our first round of severe weather is moving into the state as we speak. We have a line that extends roughly from, we're going to say, Fowler, Lafayette region, further south than expected, down toward about Sullivan areas. Zooming out here, taking a peek, it's a very nice looking bow echo here from Danville all the way down to Greenville, Illinois. This is progressing to the east at a little bit north as well, so we're going to call it northeast, but mostly east, at around 60 miles per hour here. So first up on these storms is going to be Vermilion, Warren, as well as Vigo counties. And if next up would be Fountain, Park, and Clay counties, and then we've got to watch Sullivan and Greene counties as well. Further south on the south part of this line. This is going to be the start of our coverage for today. We'll be off and on throughout the day here. I'm not sure how long we're going to be on continually. Right now, we just want to go live here, and this is round one. Obviously, we have round two for southern and central Indiana coming later on this afternoon and evening after primarily 7 o'clock tonight. That could be more substantial in nature. So this is round one of potentially multiple rounds. And the first round here is diving further south than expected. We talked this morning. We said roughly from Rensselaer down to about Terre Haute. Obviously, it's about a county or two south of that. So Terre Haute now is under the gun for severe with this round one. Is also Sullivan, maybe Vincennes as well. Going further south down here toward Evansville, we already have a couple severe warnings in effect already. For the Oakland City, Boonville area here. This is going to be down in the counties of Pike, as well as Gibson and Warwick counties. These are all for 1-inch hail as your only concern there. So if you're in Boonville, Linville, Oakland City, out ahead of us toward Winslow, Dale, Holland, and Petersburg, you have some storms with likely some hail moving your direction to the north-northeast there. I think our main concern here is going to be these storms here. They just went ahead and statemented ahead of this line here, this blue box on your screen. They're talking about winds up to 50 miles per hour here. That's going to be for the counties of Warren, Park, Fountain, and Vermilion counties until 2:15 p.m. So about an hour or about 50 minutes or so to be exact on this statement here. Now, statements, if you're not familiar, are a step below severe criteria. So taking a peek at this line, though, it does look pretty potent, and it was cranking across Illinois with several areas of some rotation, as well as primarily a damaging wind as well. But as the latest guidance here, the bright greens, you want to see the greens be really bright in nature to be worried about severe weather. And right now they have been weakening here as this line has progressed across the state. As I move this back and animate, you can see the brighter reds and yellows, tan colors there, indicating some stronger winds. And as it pushes further away from the radar, it has weakened some as it progresses toward the state line here. So we'll watch it here for a little bit. Obviously, we'll be live for at least for a couple minutes to talk about this and kind of see what's going on here, especially in Vermilion County as first up here, as well as Warren County to the north there. We'll watch that carefully here. In the meantime, we do have a weather camera up and rolling here at Vermilion County EMA. This is looking directly due west at this line as it progresses in. As you can see, a lot of cool-looking clouds, but no real structure on the camera just yet. We also have a couple other cameras around the state, primarily in the southern part of Vermilion here in Clinton, Indiana, also facing west, courtesy of the Black Diamond Fire Department there in the southern part of Vermilion. So we have some eyes on the ground here. We have several chasers who are out and about as well this afternoon. Not really currently interested in the first round. We're more so interested in what's coming later on tonight. So our feeds for our chasers will be primarily focused later on tonight. But we could have a couple people out currently chasing. Looks like we have Evan out as well as Drew, but I think they're chasing Illinois currently. So we'll watch it. We'll monitor and keep an eye on how things evolve here. Current time is 1:26 p.m. Eastern Time. I am Ryan here with the Indiana Weather Network. We'll be live for at least probably a half hour to discuss this line here. If anything looks concerning, we'll stay on, but if not, we'll pop out of here in the meantime. But otherwise, we're just tracking this line here as it progresses into Indiana. So again, first up, Covington, Eugene, Newport, Highland, down toward Clinton. Tecumseh, Terre Haute, Prairieton, all the way up to the north side of Warren County, Kramer, Oxford, Boswell areas, Otterbein, that area. We'll have to watch what's back here in St. Louis as well. Looks like we already have storms developing across that St. Louis general region. Those will eventually move our way this afternoon and evening. So this is going to be a messy day. Each round does carry potential for severe. If you live in North Indiana, though, I will go ahead and say this. North Indiana, at this point, I would say your severe threat is looking a lot lower than what it did yesterday, especially across that western area where the threat was higher this morning and also last night. But right now, most of these rounds are diving south of you guys up there, really north of Logansport and Huntington areas. I'd say your threat is pretty minimal for severe weather today. It could get windy later this evening for you guys, even in some just general rain showers, but severe storms, I think, is going to stay primarily south of, we're going to say, Kokomo today. And this line also could brush up with this northeast movement toward Kokomo, Marion areas. So don't let your guard down just yet, but it will not carry too far north and east here and hold itself together. If you live on the eastern side of Indiana, over by like Muncie or Fort Wayne, down to Connorsville, Richmond, down to Madison, your threat is coming later on today. So how we do things here is we focus primarily on what's in front of our faces, what's happening now in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, this round will continue eastward. It should weaken as it does so. Next round coming in after dinner time frame tonight will be one that could carry across southern Indiana. So if you're over here in southeast Indiana by Richmond all the way down to the Kentucky-Ohio border areas, I think your risk is much higher, probably closer to 10 p.m. or after tonight than it is this round here currently. The severe storms will end roughly around 1 to 2 a.m. tonight. So that will be the cutoff point across the state. If you live in western Indiana, your cutoff will be a lot earlier than that. If you're on eastern Indiana, it'll be a later time. So west Indiana could clear out as early as 11 o'clock or midnight. Central Indiana could clear out as early as that 11 o'clock midnight time frame as well. And then east Indiana, things should be wrapping up around 2 to 3 a.m. There is a lot of lightning happening on the Vermilion camera here. I'm going to leave it right here and just kind of watch it for a minute. Watching radar, there's currently not much I'm seeing in terms of significant wind gusts or rotation to track, which is great news. So we'll take a break from the radar here and just kind of take a peek at the storm itself as it progresses eastward here into Vermilion County. The entire risk area, really for central and south Indiana, primarily will be damaging winds today. Damaging winds up to 60, perhaps 70 miles per hour at their peak. And then with this line on the current trek into central Indiana, I'm not expecting tornadoes to be a very high threat. We may have one or two areas try to rotate, and maybe if we're unlucky, a brief spin up. I think the risk tonight for tornadoes is a bit higher with that secondary line, but really that takes aim south I-70 down by Bloomington, Columbus, Vincennes, Sullivan, Bedford, Jasper areas. Take a peek back here at the camera. We'll just relax for now. There's no severe with this line. The only severe storms in the state currently are the ones down by Oakland City and Boonville, and that's for hail. Currently do not see much in the way of anything significant happening with that line currently. We could have some larger hail in some pockets heading in toward the Boonville area. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at this here on radar, just for you guys are aware of this. Taking a peek down further south and east, this is very far southwest Indiana. Counties of Pike as well as Warwick counties. Of course, as soon as I take the camera off the screen, another lightning bolt, go figure. But down here by Boonville, this purple color by Chandler down toward Newburgh, heading up toward Folsomville, Tennyson, as well as Spurgeon and Selvin areas across Warwick counties. If I turn on the hail tracker, check this out. The brighter colors on this model or this product indicate that the hail could be quite large in nature. We see it maxed out down here across Chandler, heading into Boonville, and also in Newburgh. So if you guys are in this warning polygon, you likely are experiencing some large hail, probably close to quarter, perhaps a little bit larger than quarter size. In fact, the warning here is actually observed for quarter size hail for Oakland City, heading into Winslow and Petersburg. But the south warning here in Warwick County is actually for ping pong ball size hail. That expires in about 30 minutes. If you live in Warwick counties, or if you're out ahead of this in Jasper and Petersburg, as well as Otwell areas, prepare yourselves for some large hail. I don't see a wind risk with this. I don't see anything rotating, so no tornadoes or wind currently. But the hail risk with this looks to be quite significant in nature. What on earth? This is not what I chose. Okay. There we go. All right, back up here to the northern cell. Let's take a peek back here at this line. Again, it's just crossing into the county of Vermilion now, as well as, we're going to say Vigo County here in a minute, as well as Warren County. I think the strongest is going to be Vermilion and point southward. What's on the north side here in Warren is weakening. The line is getting closer to the camera here. This is facing west, courtesy of Vermilion County EMA. We can tilt, pan, and zoom this as far as we want to. So let's take a peek here a little bit further south. We're just leave it right there, and we'll just kind of monitor and watch this currently. Take a peek at the chat here. Let me know where you guys are watching from. April 27th, 1:34 p.m. Eastern Time. We're tracking our first round of severe weather into the state. All right, there we go. New severe incomings. That's going to be for South Indiana. It encompasses only parts of Spencer County. This is going to be this new polygon coming in. Let's check this out. New cell popping up. It's in Kentucky still. Heading up toward Owensboro, and I will clip the very far south portion here of Spencer County. That's in effect till 2:15 p.m. Eastern, 1:15 Central. So if you're up here in Rockport areas, Rio, Sandridge, Pueblo, Africa, even if you're watching from Owensboro, Kentucky, this cell does have a nice hail core on it moving up your direction here to the northeast. We animate this, you can see the movement on it, pretty much northeast here. So if you're up in that area, as well as downstream here by Tell City, here in the southern parts of, this is going to be Perry County. You guys would be on next up for that cell as it progresses up to the northeast. Checking back in while we're down here on our cell that was producing large hail in Boonville. The hail core still looks pretty potent here, although this is behind about 10 minutes. So your hail core is advanced to the northeast by about probably 5 to 10 miles. Back up further north, I'll go ahead and switch back here to the Indianapolis radar. Take a peek at our velocity. I still don't see anything standing out to me. I'll check on the Central Illinois radar as well. And still not seeing much anything currently on this line that warrants mention of anything significant. Back to our camera here. We're watching the storm roll in real time. Also take a peek at Clinton, Indiana's camera as well. This is facing to the west-southwest here in Clinton, courtesy of Black Diamond Fire Department. Dark clouds moving in there, but otherwise no real storm structure just yet. I'm going to check out our chasers here to see if anybody is live. We do have Caleb with us. Good lightning there. Let's go ahead and get Caleb in here. New software currently we're working with, so bear with me. It's going to take me a second to learn this, but let's go ahead and move Caleb in here. I think I figured it out. We should have it up in the top right corner here, right about now. There we go. There's Caleb's feed. We can also move over to him and take him full screen. Let's get a location on Caleb. Sandoval, Illinois is where Caleb is currently at. Gonna try and locate that real quick on our map. I don't see it offhand. I am not all too familiar with Illinois' town names. Obviously, I'm used to bigger names, but Sandoval does not ring a bell to me. All right, back over here to the radar. Looks like there is a shelf cloud moving in here on the Vermilion camera. Shelf clouds are long, scuddy-looking clouds that can indicate we could have some strong winds, but not always. Ooh, nice bolt there on the left side. I still don't see anything on radar that warrants attention for much anything. Like I said, some stronger winds, potentially moving in toward Vermilion County, although the radar here does depict that we likely seeing below severe winds with this, but we're kind of between both Indianapolis radar as well as the central Illinois radar, so we're looking at a gap. New warnings incoming further south. Let's go ahead and check those out. That's probably downstream of those cells that are warned for hail. Let's check that out real quick. Let's go ahead and move back to our radar here. Further south we go. We're going to look at new warnings coming in. All of these new warnings are for 1-inch hail. And as we mentioned before, these storms are likely producing hail upwards of a quarter, and then the southern cell by Boonville likely producing over quarter-size hail as that moves up to the northeast. And still, this is going to be about 9 minutes old. It did update for us on our hail tracker. So Boonville, all the way down between Boonville and Newburgh, very large hail core here. Also one up here by Decker, Hazleton, and is it Iana? Probably going to butcher that pronunciation, but also a hail core up there with this storm. I'll go ahead and switch it back here to radar. This is going to be over the Vollmer area, moving to the northeast toward Monroe City, Verne, and Pond Creek Mills. Prepare yourselves from hail. Again, there's no wind risk with these further south storms. There's no rotation with these storms. All I'm seeing currently is a hail risk with it, and new warnings are in effect for the Washington area, Montgomery, almost to Lagodi, down toward Otwell, and we'll expect probably downstream warnings here. We'll say for Spencer County and probably Du Bois County here in the Huntingburg and Jasper as well as Dale areas. Back up here to our main line, Terre Haute is getting close to impact as well. Currently no warnings in effect. I do think the southern part of this line is a bit stronger. Maybe some hail mixed in there as well. The hail tracker there does show the hail is still a little bit larger further south on this line by Charleston, Illinois, down toward Toledo and Effingham. But on the north side of this line, not much hail being depicted here as it moves into Vermilion County. So anything on the Vermilion County and Warren County side will likely just be a gusty wind risk, and it looks to be below severe criterion, hence why there's no warnings in effect just yet. I mean, there's some brighter greens in there if we animate this, or if we take our tool out, so to speak. These winds on radar are depicted at 45 or so, give or take a couple miles an hour winds, and for severe, we want 58 mile per hour or greater winds. So we're not seeing too much here that screams severe at this current time, at this point. And again, current time is 1:41 p.m. Eastern, 12:41 p.m. Central Time. Taking it back, a look here at the Vermilion camera. That base leading edge of that storm, whoa, that was a bolt and a half there on the right side of your screen. So let's go ahead and take that full here if we don't mind. Full screen this. Looks like there's some pretty good lightning with this cell, so that's another risk. It's technically not considered severe. But lightning, bolts of lightning out ahead of these storms are occurring here. So it's best to head indoors and be inside as these storms pass. There is a lot of lightning out there with these storms. Just tuning in, we are live here. My name is Ryan, Indiana Weather Network. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. If you prefer to watch on YouTube, just go ahead and hop over there and search us up. Same name, same logo, description, everything. Just search us up. YouTube is a much better place to watch, in my humble opinion, but it's all your guys' preference. But we'll be live here as these storms first progress into the state. Currently, though, I don't really see much in the way to stay live for at the current time. There's not much going on, and that's good. I think the cells to the south here producing hail are of more significance at the current time, just because we do have some actually ping pong ball size hail now observed, so confirmed on that cell now in Boonville. So if you're in Boonville, be inside and away from windows. That storm is directly over you. I would not be shocked to get a considerable warning on that if it extends into the next counties over of Spencer, eastern Warwick, and southern Dubois County. A very large hail core is being depicted there on that cell. Not be surprised to see golf ball size hail on that. On your screen currently is that line up in Vermilion County. That edge of the storm is getting closer and closer. We'll see how strong the winds are within this line. Very beautiful bolt. I must say, that's a lot of lightning out there. But we're going to watch this as it rolls over. If it doesn't look too bad, we may hop out of here and wait for round two, or perhaps something more significant to happen. But in the meantime, we'll wait for this to kind of roll over and get an idea of what's going on. Taking a peek at the Clinton camera. Ooh, it's got like a green, bluish tint green to the sky. That is interesting. This is facing to the west-southwest here in Clinton, Indiana. Courtesy of Black Diamond Fire Department there. Back to radar quickly, just to kind of give you guys a general depiction. Our cameras are right here in Vermilion County. My mouse is going up and down. And this line is about to be impacting these cameras here. And then further south, it does extend further back southwest into Illinois. So places like Terre Haute, Prairie Creek, down to Sullivan still could be impacted. But we are seeing the first initial impacts further north, and that line appears to be weaker than that further south. So perhaps some warnings that this holds its strength into Terre Haute, as well as Prairie Creek areas. But it's still about, we're going to say, an hour, 90 minutes away from impacting those areas. So we got some time. There's your new warning for Illinois side. They're going to go 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail on that. Not for Indiana, but that is for the line moving into the Terre Haute and Sullivan regions. So be mindful of that. The warning does say they're moving east at 35 miles per hour. So pretty slow moving storms. I think it's a little bit quicker than that. I think it's more so 45 or so perhaps. But the bottom part of that line definitely moving a bit slower. The wind part of this line is about to progress into the county. And with that said, back to our cameras here in Vermilion County here at the EMA office, as well as Clinton here at the Black Diamond Fire Department. We'll watch these very closely as they move in. Also top right of your screen is Caleb as well as Parker. They are chasing in Illinois currently, so they're not on any storms that are impacting Indiana, but they will be later on this evening and tonight, as we have round two coming for primarily central and south Indiana after dinner time of between 6 to 8 p.m. and afterwards. Once this line progresses over, we'll go ahead and time out areas and impacts and take a peek at the models as well of what's to come later on today. So if you're looking for that information, stay tuned. But really, after 6 to 8 p.m. and afterwards, central and south Indiana, pretty much the entirety of the central and south Indiana has a risk tonight for damaging wind, as well as a couple tornadoes. What's happening now is just kind of an appetizer or precursor. There is a tractor That is wild. I don't know if I'd be out in a tractor in this kind of weather, but to each their own. Hopefully it has, looks like it has glass doors on it. New warning coming in for Pike, Spencer, Warwick counties until 2:30. They're going quarter-sized hail on that. We just talked about that not like 5 minutes ago about a downstream warning, and it looks like they went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. Quarter-sized hail for those areas. We'll take a peek at that here in just a second. This line's about to progress into the camera, which I want to kind of take a look at how strong the winds are with this line here. So let's go ahead and move the camera. I want to pan this to the right here to get an idea of how long this line extends. Not too far north. Emily in chat says Evansville, Indiana, crazy lightning. There is a lot of it out there today. Always best to be inside as storms approach. Lightning can strike several miles outside of any storm. In fact, just a couple days ago, we were watching some storms out west in Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri, and lightning was being depicted about 30 to 40 miles out ahead of thunderstorms. It's kind of crazy how they do that, but it's not unheard of. It's why you hear meteorologists always say, when you hear thunder, when thunder roars, go indoors. And sometimes you can get lightning even if you don't hear thunder. So it kind of happens out of the blue sometimes. The wind with this appears to be strongest on the north side of Vermilion County, and even then does not appear to be severe in nature, but still, I want to mention it one more time. We're between radars here, so our beams are not getting a good look at the atmosphere in the lowest levels. So it could be gusty on the surface here, but my guess would be it's not. But we're going to find out here shortly. I do want to tilt the camera to the north here just so we can watch the trees to get an idea of how strong these winds are. And while I do that, I'll go ahead and position this here. I'll tilt it down just a tad bit. And then I want to flip over here to the Clinton County camera as this is approaching and will pass over here shortly. Looks like the camera there is frozen, so that's about 2 minutes old. We'll go ahead and flip back here to the other camera in just a second. I'll go ahead and get this loaded back in. Software is glitching hard for some reason. There it goes. In the meantime, back to the radar. The line is now firmly in Vermilion County. Go ahead and take back the camera here. They're issuing wind advisories. I do want to mention this as well. We could have what's called a wake low develop. Fancy terminology. A low pressure system that's localized in nature may develop behind the line of storms progressing through Illinois currently, as well as Indiana. Behind that, if that wake low does develop, we could see wind gusts between 40 to perhaps 60 miles per hour, even outside of storms tonight. And that's primarily for northern Indiana, as well as Michigan, for our Michigan friends as well. The wind with this has not been impressive at all. Looks like perhaps 20 to 30 mile per hour winds at best here. Definitely not seeing anything just yet. New warning, looks like for $half size hail. They updated it, so it's not new. They just updated it for Spencer, Indiana, Spencer County, for $half sized hail. Looks pretty calm. I think the worst of it's still a little bit tucked in the rain here still, so we'll wait it out a few more minutes. Once we're done watching this, we'll go ahead and take back the radar. Here comes a little bit stronger winds. Still appears to be, well below severe criteria. It doesn't even look close to severe. I still estimate between 20 and 30 mile per hour winds here. Excuse me. The camera on your screen currently is courtesy of Vermilion County EMA. We're currently pointed to the northwest here as this line is progressing through Vermilion County. The northern edge of this in Warren County does not look impressive at all, so we're not really going to talk about that much. There could be some gustier winds moving into Vermilion County in the central portion, but still looks like below severe criteria is the going right here. Yeah, this line is well below severe criteria, which is great news. There is a statement in effect. It's going to be for 50 mile per hour winds. So I think Indianapolis office made a good call there, not issuing a severe for this line here, at least in Vermilion and surrounding areas. Terre Haute is next up. We'll take back the radar here. I'll keep a close eye and see if anything increases here on the camera. In the meantime, though, our cameras currently are in the central part here on 63 and also down here in Clinton, Indiana, where we do see a little bit more in the way of wind happening. In fact, we'll go ahead and take this back real quick. There is a surf coming off that field there, and the camera was shaking just a little bit there. But again, this is courtesy of Black Diamond Fire Department in southern Vermilion County, which is down here. But otherwise, we do see Terre Haute as well as Sullivan areas. Next up for impact, this line is still well off to the west here, so I don't think we're going to see this line produce severe weather anytime soon. I think the main concern continues to be these storms in southwest Indiana with primarily a hail risk. Monroe City, heading up toward Maysville and Sandy Hook, appears to be the highest concern right now. And then down here for this hail core over Folsomville, Tennyson, heading up toward Johnsburg, Dale, Holland, and Zoar areas. Turn on the hail tracker here. You're going to see brighter colors. Yeah, there's your hail tracker. The brighter the colors here, the larger the hail size could be. As you can see, there's two distinct ones and a third one there in the middle, like a baby trying to imitate their big brothers. Overall, though, the larger hail falling Monroe City points southward there, as well as Tennyson, Folsomville, Loafers Station, Haleman, Lincoln City, Gentryville. Those are going to be moving up your way here. This warning on the south part is for quarter-size hail. The warning on the northern part also for quarter-size hail. Both are radar indicated. And then the half-dollar size warning is going to be for that Owensboro, Patronville, Pueblo areas in the very far southern part of Spencer County. So overall, guys, this is looking pretty subdued right now besides the hail risk. The wind, I'm looking at the camera here, still unimpressive at less than really 10 to 20 miles per hour here. So at this point in time, I don't think we need to stay live for much longer. Of course, we'll be watching behind the scenes and monitor it as the day progresses. Round 2 coming later on tonight. I'll go ahead and walk you guys through what's ahead very quickly here based on the latest forecast model guidance. So currently live radar on your screen. This line will continue to move to the east-northeast across central Indiana. It should weaken as it does so. I would say severe weather with that line should be isolated in nature. It won't be widespread. Wind up to 60 miles per hour is your hazard. Cannot rule out a tornado with it, but right now appears to be unlikely at this point. Down here, these storms in southwest Indiana will progress to the northeast, producing hail. The wind threat with that, also a low concern. Anything tornadic is quite low in nature with those southern storms. Now, after round 1, this round currently is over. Round 2 will begin. Let's go ahead and see if we can move this out here. Yeah, there we go. So this is round 1 moving through. Round 2 comes later on tonight. Of course, it's not going to let me do it, is it? There it goes. Round 2 forms right around 6 to 7 o'clock. Here's 6 p.m. Round 2 from Terre Haute down to Evansville. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Here comes that secondary line across Illinois from roughly Crawfordsville on down to St. Louis. That is your main line to watch. Excuse me. This is at 9 p.m. This is at 10 p.m. All the way from Indianapolis on down south. Take note, North Indy and really north of Kokomo doesn't see much in the way of severe weather today. So if you're north of Kokomo, your odds are low for severe weather. Do keep in mind, though, gusty winds are still likely in showers later on this evening. We could see close to severe gusts up there, but outside of any storms. Severe threat, Kokomo on south. After what appears to be 8 to 9 p.m. and after Eastern time, this line progresses. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and even close to midnight here. This line is still cranking from Cincinnati down toward Evansville, finally clearing the state by 2 a.m. So recapping that, storms likely ongoing all day here. Isolated severe leading up to the main line, moving into the state roughly around 8 p.m. here, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, and then 1 a.m. here as they clear the state around 2 a.m. Makes sense? I don't really think there's much else to talk about this current time. Still watching the camera up in Vermilion County. It was not windy at all. I would say it's just a garden variety storm at those two locations. So that's really good news. So overall, I don't really see much in the way of anything to stay alive for at this point. So with that said, one last look at the radar and one last call out for you guys ahead of this hail. Washington area, Lettsville, Jordan, Maysville, Cannelberg, toward Lagodi. Be mindful, you could have some hail upwards of perhaps $half size moving your direction. Same thing applies down here heading toward Dale, Ferdinand, Mainrad? Probably butchered that one. Same thing applies down there. Could see quarter to $half size hail with these cells. Obviously, if you're in Owensboro or Rockport areas, Patronville, Pueblo, in the southern part of Spencer County, you guys also on alert for $half size hail as well. In the meantime, we're going to hop out here, monitor behind the scenes. Anything goes warned for tornadic or we see rotation, or anything that concerns us at all, we'll pop back on. In the meantime, though, I think the risk right now is subdued. Later on tonight, though, we do plan to be live for a more substantial risk here across Indiana, southern Indiana, especially with that second round happening after dinner time, 7, 8, and onward. With that said, enjoy the rest of your evening. I will be back on monitoring behind the scenes. In the meantime, though, enjoy the outro, guys.